Let's now consider another hypothesis for a moment, just to finish off. My hypothesis is this. Let's suppose that there is no good God. There's just an all-powerful, all-knowing, and supremely evil God. Okay? I know it's not true. Just suppose, for the moment, that there is such a being. Suppose I believed in a being like that. Now, what would you say about that belief? I suspect you would say, Stephen, you're insane. Why on earth? Yes. why on earth? Why would you believe that? Remember you said that. Okay. Right? Why would you believe in such a being? Well, I could say this. Well, look, there must be a kind of first cause that's a necessary being that's kind of designed the universe and that explains all the complexity that there is in it. And so that's my evil God did all of that. And of course, because the standard cosmological arguments and arguments from design are completely neutral on the moral properties of God, they do indeed support belief in my evil God just as much as they support belief in Hamza's good God. Those arguments are completely neutral on the God question, those ones. There may be others that are not, but those ones are. So I'll help myself to those arguments. But still you won't believe that there's an evil God. Why? Well, the most obvious reason is there's too much good stuff in the universe. Why is there love and laughter and rainbows? Why is there ice cream? I mean, I know there's a lot of bad stuff, right, in the universe, but there's way too much good stuff. There's overwhelming quantities of good stuff as well as bad stuff, and that is overwhelming evidence that there is no evil God. That's called the evidential problem of good, and it's just the mirror problem to the evidential problem of evil. If you believe in a good God, you have got to explain all the bad stuff. If you believe in a bad God, you've got to explain all the good stuff. Too much good stuff. And most of you can see straight away there really is too much good stuff for this to be the creation of an evil God. But what if I do this? You're being far too quick and dismissive. Think about it. Think about what an evil God would want. He would want moral agents doing evil of their own volition. Moral evil is the worst kind of evil that there is. Right? You can only have moral evil if evil God cuts our strings and sets us free. We have to choose to do it. Evil. Now, the downside of evil gods cutting our strings is that we'll sometimes choose to do good stuff. And that's why there is good. That's why people help each other. Evil God hates it. It makes him sick. But it's the price he has to pay in order for there to be true moral depravity in the universe. Otherwise, it couldn't exist. I've just run the standard theodicy, free will theodicy, in reverse. Okay, I've mirrored it. Works just the same. If you don't like that, well then, what about this isn't a character building exercise. This isn't a great big school to make us all better. This is an exercise in soul destruction. Why does an evil God give us healthy, fit young bodies? Why would he do that? Surely he'd torture us for all eternity with a red hot poker. Well, the reason is because if he gives you a fit, healthy young body for about 10 or 15 years, he can then take it away from you so that you slowly and inexorably slide into decay and decrepitude and die in agony, having lived out a short, and ultimately meaningless existence. That is far worse than if you never had a fit young body in the first place. Why would he give David Beckham loads and loads of money and a new Ferrari to make the rest of you feel worse? Who can rest content when you know that a few people have so much that they don't deserve it, that you'll never have it no matter how hard you work? It's a recipe for endless torment and suffering. That's why evil God gives a few people great stuff. And so on. Most of the standard theodicies can be flipped around in this way. And if you don't like those, then I could just play the mystery card and say, who are you to think that you know the mind of God? Evil God, that is. This really is the worst of all possible worlds. It's just that you, being a mere human being, can't see that. Of course you can't. How could you? Why should you expect to? Of course, evil God's plans are going to be beyond your understanding. This really is as bad as it could possibly be, and the only reason that you can't say that is because you're a mere human being. God's interrupting me. It's reminding me that I'm exceeding my limit. Exactly. Yeah. So, what I'm pointing out to you is that these explanations, when you reverse them, people laugh at them and go, yeah, right, pull the other one. It's obvious there's no evil God. And in fact, it is obvious. And in fact, I was told that I was insane to believe it. Well, maybe insanity is not quite, maybe that's a little bit too strong. But the fact is, it's just downright irrational, frankly, for a grown-up person to believe in an evil God. And my challenge really is this: if you think that belief in an evil God is pretty unreasonable, and it is, why do you think that belief in a good God is significantly more reasonable? Why? I mean, show me the asymmetry between the two hypotheses. If one hypothesis is really pretty silly, why is the other one so much more sensible? Well, Hamza thinks he's got some reasons. We'll look at them a bit later on. Here's the punchline. Suppose you're Sherlock Holmes, right? The famous detective. You're told that you have to solve the case, but you can't. You can't solve the case. You can't figure out who done it. It doesn't follow that you can't rule certain people out. Okay? You might know that the butler didn't do it because he was in the room with you at the time, or he has a cast iron alibi. Even when you can't answer a question, it doesn't mean that you can't can't cross certain answers off your list. Similarly, I can't explain to you why the universe exists. It's a fascinating question. I am genuinely interested in it. I've done quite a bit of work on it now. Even though I don't know the answer, I can be damn sure that this isn't the creation of an evil God. Can't I? And so can all of you. All of you are damn sure about that. But if you're damn sure about that, well, why couldn't it be reasonable then, on the basis of just looking around us, to believe that there ain't no good God either? That's my talk. Sorry it went on too long. So.
Thanks for that, Dr. Stephen Law. I did let Stephen go on for an extra 2.5 minutes. I'm not quite sure if that was good or evil of me. Maybe we can talk about that later. Hamza, if you'd like to give your 10-minute response.